Hello everyone, in today's video I've got these tiny little baby canvases here. They're only 2-inch squares, so they're pretty small, and I've got 8 of them, but today I'm going to be decorating 4, and as you could tell by the thumbnail, they are going to be dessert themed. So let's get these open and let's get right into today's video. Getting all 8 of these open was definitely a challenge. They're very small and the plastic was very tight, but here's what they look like. They're just these little 2-inch canvases and they're flat, so they'll be super easy to decorate. But anyway, once I had them all open, it was finally time to create the first painting. So here it is, just blank, and I grabbed a colored pencil just to sketch out my design real quick. And the first dessert that I'm going to be making is a donut. So for this one, I wanted to start off with some hot pink icing, kind of make it look like a Homer Simpson type donut. So I'm just going in and coloring the whole thing first. I'm trying to give it a base layer of paint. That way it's a lot easier to paint later when I really want to go in and add in the shading and all of the details. At first, I really didn't know what style that I wanted to make them in, so I was trying to just put a base layer of somewhat realistic colors everywhere. That way I could render it as far as I wanted to and make it as detailed as I wanted to later, but for now at least I have a base. So now I'm starting off with just some basic shading and highlights to really make it start looking like a 3D object and make it look more like, a donut, because that's what it's supposed to look like. So then I'm adding in just a whole bunch of different colors and shades to try and get it to look right and a little more three-dimensional. For the background of this one, I decided to do this really fun purple color, and then I made sure that the donut was the right shape, so I added in some extra icing, and then it was time to add even more highlights, and this is when in my mind a style kind of developed. I wanted it to fit my style. Obviously, that was kind of a given, but wasn't thinking about that. So then I decided to add in some cartoony elements, added in this really graphic shadow, which was really fun and I think added a lot to the donut design. And then after that, I decided to just keep on adding in even more highlights, because you know that I love my highlights, and I have to be honest with you guys, I even snuck in a little secret sparkle, okay? I needed that little sparkle, I had to do it. So then after that, I decided to also add in a bold outline, which was definitely a bold choice, but I thought that it would just look really good and kind of add that contrast that I really needed to make everything pop. And here's where I came up with a really good idea. I wanted all of these 4 dessert designs to have a 3D element. So this 3D element is going to be sprinkles. So I got out some sprinkles. These are fake sprinkles, they're not real. And I chased them around with some tweezers, dipped them in some glue, and then I stuck them to the donut to give it a 3D pop of sprinkle fun. And it turned out so cool, and I love how hot the pink is on the icing. This one is so pretty, but now let's move on to the next dessert. This next dessert is an ice cream cone topped with a red cherry, and for this one it's kind of a view of just the first scoop and then the second scoop. Who knows how many scoops there are? It could be an infinite amount of scoops. We will never know. But for the top flavor, I decided to do a strawberry flavor with some drips, and then for the bottom part I decided to make a chocolate flavor to really contrast the light pink that we've made. And now I'm getting this light and fluffy modeling paste. It looks like this. It's super fun to use, and it's going to be my 3D element for this ice cream cone. So I'm just taking a good chunk of that, adding in some pink paint, probably added in a little bit too much. It turned out this really pretty hot pink color, definitely not as light as my design before, but that's okay. And I went ahead and put that on the ice cream to really make it pop and to try and make it look like real ice cream would. So then I tried to carve it out like it would look like a scoop, try to add in some ridges like ice cream might have, and then I tried to add some to the cherry as well, which was a little bit harder to work with. And now it's time to add in sprinkles to this one as well. I just loved the sprinkles on the donut so much, I had to add them to this one too. And then I filled in the chocolate ice cream with the light and fluffy modeling paste as well, which was super fun to use, but a little tricky to go around all of the pink that was already there. And for this background, I decided to give it this nice pop of this bright blue color. It kind of matches the sprinkles a little bit. And then after that, I decided I still need needed to add my bold outlines. That way it would match the donut from before. I want this to be a set, so I want them to all look like they go together. And then I also added in some highlights over top of the paste as well. And this was really fun and I think really completed the design. But here's how this one looks. It's definitely very pop art and it is super bright and colorful and fun. But now it is time for the next dessert. This one is a cupcake, so I decided to sketch out my design, which I didn't love, so I went ahead and just resketched over it and tried something different, and now I'm going in with red for the cupcake base. I wanted to make a red velvet cupcake because those are my favorite. What is your favorite dessert? I'm curious to know. Comment it down below because I want to know what is your favorite dessert. I love a lot of desserts like brownies, ice cream, cookies, literally pretty much anything with sugar. But anyway, then I decided to give it a purple base and I tried some yellow background, but that was just horrible. So I decided against it and I tried some more pink instead. And now I'm coming back in with that paste because I just cannot get enough of it. I think it is so magical and so fun. And now I'm going ahead and just icing the top of this cupcake, and then I gave it this little pattern of a swirl design and I tried to carve that out and make it look extra super swirly and fun. And then it was time to add on different sprinkles to this one. I had some circle sprinkles that I popped on top of this, and then I went ahead and added in those bold outlines that I've been adding to everything else before, again just to make sure that it matches. I even added black lines into the top of the icing just to make sure that it all looked the same. And then of course I went in and added in some highlights to everything, really to make it pop. And then I also added highlights to the sprinkles just to keep them looking the same. I decided that the background wasn't pink enough and it didn't match the other desserts, so I made the background extra hot pink, and this is how it looks. I think it is so cute and so fun, and I of course love the addition of the sprinkles. But now it is time for the final dessert, which is going to be a cookie. Even though this one was probably the most simple design, it's the one that I actually struggled with the most. I was really trying to get it to read cookie, but I really couldn't, and I don't think it really ever reached that point. I think it looks like a dessert. I just don't know if you can tell that it's supposed to be like a pink frosted sugar cookie, but let me know if you can tell later when it's done. But for now, I'm just icing it with that same modeling paste, and of course adding in a million sprinkles just to make sure that this entire cookie is filled with some fun colors. And then I went ahead and tried to make it look more like a cookie once again by adding in some shading and some highlights and some different colors. I was really trying to make it look like something here. I even added in shading to the frosting while it was still wet, might I add. But anyway, then I decided to give it some texture to try and help too. But I don't know if it ever reached cookie status, but that's okay. I still think it's really cute. And then I added in this blue bold background, added in even more highlights, and of course the black outline, and then this one was complete as well. And I think it's still really cute, but I still don't know if you can tell that it's a cookie. So let me know what you think it is and what you think it looks like. But it was still really fun, and I think it matches the other desserts really well, so I'm content. But here they all are side by side. Here's this adorable donut sprinkle one, and this one might be my favorite. I just think it turned out so cute, and I loved the addition of the sprinkles. Here is the ice cream cone, which is actually probably my second favorite, and here's what the 3D elements look like. It's not too thick. Here is the next one, which is the red velvet cupcake. Again, let me know what your favorite dessert is. I love red velvet. And finally, here is the cookie that may or may not look like a cookie. It's up to you to let me know, but I think they all turn out so cute and I want them to last forever, but I also want to make them magnets. So I'm adding in these magnets after playing with them. It's now time to glue them on to the back of the canvases. I think these will be so cute on my fridge in the kitchen since they are literally dessert themed. I think that'll be perfect. So after I added on the magnets, I decided to Mod Podge the designs. That way they can last forever and I can make sure none of those sprinkles go missing after a while. So I decided to just add on a thick coat of Mod Podge to every single one of them after they were completely dry. I waited a long time before adding this, wanted to make sure I didn't ruin anything. And then after I added in all of the Mod Podge and gave them a nice little coat, they were looking so pretty, and here is what they look like on my fridge as magnets in the kitchen. And I think they are so cute. They're holding up my Halloween Queen print that I'm selling on my website for Halloween. And just so you guys know, the Halloween and fall content is coming, okay? So be ready for that. Here they all are. Let me know which one is your favorite, what your favorite dessert is. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.